Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into what has to be one of the wildest, most brilliant deception plans ever cooked up. Seriously, it all came down to one dead body, a briefcase packed with lies, and, well, the entire fate of World War II hanging in the balance. So, this was the central puzzle British intelligence was staring at back in 1943. And we're not talking about tricking a few soldiers on the front line. No. Their target was the whole shebang, the German high command, all the way up to Hitler. You can imagine the stakes were just astronomical. Okay, so to really get how incredible this plan was, you first have to understand the absolute jam the Allies were in. They'd basically backed themselves into a corner, strategically speaking. All right, picture this. It's 1943. The Allies have just scored some huge wins in North Africa. And now, finally, they're ready to push back into mainland Europe. The tide of the war is turning, but it's fragile. One screw-up could send it turning right back. The big objective? To invade what Churchill famously called the soft underbelly of Europe. And here's the problem, the real nightmare for the planners. Just look at a map. Sicily is the most logical next step. It's obvious. And that's exactly what made it so incredibly dangerous. The Germans weren't stupid, they knew it too. So they were busy turning that so-called soft underbelly into an absolute fortress, a death trap. A direct attack? It would have been a slaughter. So the Allies needed more than just a battle plan. They needed some kind of miracle, a work of art in misdirection. So with this seemingly impossible problem on their hands, this small, very creative team of intelligence officers, tucked away in room 13 in London of all places, hatched a plan. And this plan was so dark, so completely bizarre, that it was actually kind of brilliant. The kind of plan that's so crazy it just might work. And they gave it a name. Operation Mincemeat. I know, it sounds like something out of a spy comedy, but the plan itself was deadly serious. The basic idea was this: get a dead body, dress him up as a British officer, plant some fake top-secret documents on him, and then make it look like he died in a plane crash at sea. The final touch? Letting the currents carry his body right to a spot where they knew pro-German spies would be waiting. They broke the whole thing down into 4 main steps. Sounds simple, right? But each one was like walking through a minefield. First, you've got to find the perfect body, one that looks like it drowned. Then you have to invent an entire life story, make it totally believable. And the last piece of the puzzle, you have to make sure that the fake intelligence not only gets found and sent up the chain to the Germans, but that they buy it, no questions asked. Now, for this whole thing to fly, the lie had to be perfect, absolutely flawless. So this couldn't be just some random corpse. No, they had to create a character, a real person with a history, with dreams, with problems. And they gave him a name, Major William Martin of the Royal Marines. And this really gets to the core of the whole psychological game they were playing. The planners knew the Germans would be looking for any tiny flaw, right? They'd be skeptical. So Major Martin couldn't be some kind of cardboard cutout. He had to feel like a real guy, a human being. And, crucially, just the kind of guy who'd be trusted to hand-carry secret letters between top Allied generals. I mean, the level of detail they went into here is just staggering. It wasn't just about the fake battle plans. It was about what they called pocket litter. You know, all the little things in your pockets that tell the story of your life. So they gave him love letters from a made-up fiancé, a receipt for an engagement ring, and, get this, even an overdue notice from his bank. Every single item was a tiny clue, another piece of the puzzle designed to make Major Martin seem like a real flesh-and-blood, slightly stressed-out person. So, Major Martin was now real. The fake documents were locked in a briefcase and chained to his wrist, and the team was ready. This was it, the point of no return. Time to send their silent messenger on his way, straight into the enemy's lap. So, on April 30th, the submarine HMS Seraph quietly surfaces off the coast of Spain, near a town called Huelva. And they chose that spot specifically because it was crawling with German sympathizers. The officers on board gently placed the body in the water, said a short prayer, and then the hardest part of the mission began. It was completely out of their control now. All they could do was wait. Can you even imagine the tension? It must have been just off the charts. I mean, think of everything that could go wrong. What if the body just drifted out to sea, never to be found? What if the Spanish authorities just buried it and didn't care? Or what if some sharp German agent took one look and said, nope, this is fake? Any one of those things happens, and the real invasion of Sicily is a guaranteed disaster. So back in London, the team is just waiting for any sign. And then, finally, a message comes through. A coded telegram with just 3 words: mincemeat, swallowed whole. It didn't just work, it worked perfectly. Better than any of them could have possibly imagined. Oh, they took the bait. Completely. The faked letters did their job, convincing German high command that the real Allied attack was coming for Greece and Sardinia. All that chatter about Sicily, that was just a distraction, a feint. They bought the whole story, hook, line, and sinker. And this went all the way to the top. Hitler himself was so convinced by Major Martin's documents that he personally ordered a huge reshuffling of his forces. We're talking an entire panzer division moved from France down to Greece. Torpedo boats, patrol craft, the whole 9 yards. All of it moved away from the one place they were actually going to attack, leaving Sicily dangerously undefended. And the payoff was immediate, and it was huge. When the Allies finally hit the beaches in Sicily on July 10, 1943, the resistance was so much lighter than they'd braced for. The entire island was captured in just 38 days. But the real story, the true legacy of this plan, isn't about capturing land. It's about the lives saved. The estimates suggest that this one single, incredibly complex lie saved over 40,000 Allied and civilian lives. Just think about that. An incredible result for a plan that started in a London basement. So all of this leaves you with a really fascinating thought, doesn't it? Today, in our world of cyber attacks and spy satellites, a plan like Operation Mincemeat feels, I don't know, almost old-fashioned. But here's the thing. It worked because it wasn't about technology. It was about people. It targeted human psychology. It playing on the enemy's expectations and their willingness to believe a compelling story. And that really makes you wonder, right? In this age of big data and AI, could it be that the most effective weapon is still just a simple, perfectly crafted lie?